Hey y'all, it's me, Linda, and your treasure, coming to you today from my kitchen book nook. And it is back to school time. So many of you have already started your classes. You have homework already and you want to keep up with your studies and do a good job. So I am going to share with you two strategies to help you with your reading, to comprehend reading, and also with memorizing details from any subject. Okay, the first strategy is an oldie but goodie that many of you may already know, but it's very effective. It's called double column notes. How many of you have heard of double column notes? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Hi. All right, woo! I don't see any hands up, so I'm going to tell you about double column notes. Okay, so double column notes, what you're going to need: a piece of paper. Lined papers is fine. So that's what I have here, lined paper. And then you need your pencil or your ink pen, but I'm going to use a marker or a highlighter just so that you all are able to see, okay? So on double column notes, what you need to do is do exactly that. Fold your paper in half, hot dog style. That's long ways, right? It's going to look sort of like this. Now I'm folding it in while it's still in the book, so that's why it looks like that. Typically it will fold right in half like hot dog. Okay, now on the left hand side of the page you're going to put your questions, and on the right side page you will write your answers to the questions. Okay, so see, it'll be like this. Alright, and notice it's folded. That's how I did it just now. I have a little more space to write in for my questions. So this is to be used during reading. This is a during reading strategy. This is something that you employ while you're reading. It can be for any subject: social studies, science, even math, especially if you're trying to understand the concept. So let's say you're reading let's say science. Let's pick on science. And I'm not a science teacher, but okay, so let's say you're reading about photosynthesis. So the question number one could be, what is photosynthesis? Question mark. Okay, so you see I wrote the question. Now, where did I get the question? Remember, it's going to come from your reading, your assigned reading, whatever the teacher has assigned for you. So you may have some questions at the beginning of your reading. You can jot those down. You may have some questions from class discussion. You may use those because they will help to guide your focus when you're reading, and it will lead you to pay attention to the answer. It will focus you while you're reading, okay? And then you write on the other side. So it is a process used by plants. I don't know how. Scientists, how would you define it? Used by plants to make food. Okay. And it also uses the sun and blah, 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 blah. So double column notes is very handy. It's very effective, and it helps to focus your reading, helps to check your comprehension of what you read, helps you to check for accuracy to make sure that the details you're putting are correct, and it helps you to fix any errors that you may have. You know, you may think you know something, and when you read it, you may discover that, oh, you didn't quite know it as well as you thought. So that's double column notes. Got it? Any questions? Any questions? Raise your hand if you have a question. I don't see any hands. Okay, good. We can move on. All right. The next strategy is called, well, it can be called the Foursquare, or it could be called somebody wanted but so. That's what because actually Foursquare in itself is a strategy that you can use. So we're going to call it somebody wanted but so. Okay, so this is how that goes. So you're going to have your piece of paper, and you are going to divide your paper into 4 boxes like this. 4 boxes, you see them? Very good. Now, next you're going to do this. And this is a very effective reading strategy. It helps you as you're reading a story, a novel, a short story, a play, to get the characters and the details down correctly. In the first box, you're going to label it somebody. In the second box at the top, you will label it wanted. Alright, so here are the first 2 boxes labeled. You see that? Somebody wanted. Next, the third box, so that first box on the bottom, the box on the left, that will be labeled but, and the 4th box will be labeled so. So when you're done, you're going to have somebody wanted but so. You see that? Now, what are you going to do? As you're reading your short story, your novel, your play, you will be filling in the boxes with details and facts about the somebody. Those details will go in the somebody box. They wanted, what was wanted in the play or the story or the novel, that will go in the wanted box. But what is the conflict? The but is the conflict of the story. So what is the conflict? Identify the problematic conflict situation in the but box, and so is your resolution, your conclusion, or the resolution. How was the conflict solved? So 2 easy strategies to do those strategies for reading comprehension. Use them. Tell me how they work for you, okay? Alrighty. Be blessed. Bye. Photosynthesis. See, I told you I'm not a science teacher.